Hello and welcome there once again, friends. My name is Gerald, pastor Innovate Christian Community Church in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Welcome to you wherever you're tuning in from. If you're local, howdy. If you're from around the world, hi to you as well, wherever it is you're tuning in. We're just so glad to have you and that you've clicked the play button apparently. So thank you. Thank you for taking a chance just to hear what we have to say. We have been doing Psalm readings every day for quite a while now, and we are on Psalm 119, and it is the longest chapter of all of the scriptures. So it is broken up by the Hebrew alphabet, each 8 verses at one time for each letter. That way then it kind of makes it bite-sized pieces for us. So we're just doing the 8 verses at a time. Tonight we are on 17 through 24. And as always, my hope and prayer is just that you are blessed and encouraged by us reading God's word together. Verse 17. Deal bountifully with your servant, that I may live and keep your word. Open my eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of your law. I am a sojourner on the earth. Hide not your commandments from me. My soul is consumed with longing for your rules at all times. You rebuke the insolent, accursed ones, who wander from your commandments. Take away from me scorn and contempt, for I have kept your testimonies. Even though princes sit plotting against me, your servant will meditate on your statutes. Your testimonies are my delight. They are my counselors. So friends, again, the psalm is all about God's word and a love for his word and the rules and the boundaries that God has set for us, which we've spoken about already. They are guides for us. They're not restrictive. They give us freedom by keeping us from doing things that we would later regret, or that would do things against God and what his plan and his hope for us is. And I love that he says in here, he says, hide not your commandments from me. Because he desires to follow God's law, to obey God as best as he can. And he understands going into God's word is where he's going to find these precepts, these statutes, these commandments, the various synonyms that we continue to see pop up in here. He says, my soul is consumed with longing for your rules at all times. Friends, how different that is from the world. The world doesn't want, and my flesh doesn't want, rules to have to follow. Whenever we think about rules, we think about a narrow kind of thing that, limits us, doesn't allow us to do things or makes us do things. But here the psalmist says he loves them. He is consumed with longing for God's rules. Again, because he knows that they are a gift, they are a blessing, and that by following and obeying them, his own life will be blessed. It says, no matter what anyone else says, as though princes sit plotting against me, I don't care. I'm going to follow your statutes. I'm going to follow your rules. And friends, I pray that you look at it the same way as I do, and the way that the psalmist here looks at it, that God's rules are a blessing for us. As I always want to remind us, we are not saved by following God's rules. We are saved by our faith in Jesus Christ, but we follow or try to follow God's rules and commandments to honor and obey him. And again, because we also know that his rules and his commandments are good for us. So friends, as always, my hope and prayer is just that you are blessed, blessed and encouraged by us going into God's word together. And if so, will you take the time, click the like button, pass it on, share it with somebody else on whatever social media platform you're catching this on, so that they too can be blessed and encouraged. And we'll be on here again tomorrow as we continue in Psalm 119. Have a wonderful evening, friends.